We continue our CA Hoops Summer School Series today with the head coach of the College of Charleston Cougars, Robin Harmony. Coach, thank you for taking time to join us. First, how are you doing during this coronavirus pandemic and those around you in your inner circle and family?
Well, obviously we're just hanging in there. It's the new normal now to get used to what it's been for 5 months. And the best part for us is that our student athletes are back on campus. They came back July 7th, and we started the 20th, where we actually had them a chance to get in the gym and see them and be around them. So, that helps us as far as try to feel like the new normal. And, everybody's been healthy and, just really trying to stay busy. And, those 5 months went pretty fast now that you look back on it. Like, what happened to March? It's already July and, it just flew by. But, it's just really being mentally tough and keeping yourself busy and, involving the team as much as possible. And, before they got here, we did a lot of Zoom calls and, just made sure they're okay and everybody was healthy.
Coach, you talked about your team being back on campus. What have those workouts kind of been like this year, maybe compared to maybe a normal workouts in the past? And how have they been going as well?
Yeah, we've been in small groups. And at first we started where they were just with their roommates because we have 3 to an apartment that's on campus. And, just that first week, everybody was a little bit, we didn't really know what to expect. But the kids don't have to wear their mask in the weight room or to play basketball or do drills, but the coaches were all masked up. I think that our administration did a great job with how we come in our building and we get our temperature checked. They ask us questions to make sure that everybody feels fine. And, knock on wood, we've been great. It's just a matter of, getting those kids to feel, they missed it. They missed basketball because, you think, God, I can't wait till this is over. And then you take it away and then you want it. It's just the way that we are as humans. So, just having our kids in the gym doing drills, we have new freshmen, so it feels like a whole new team. We have, 6 new kids, and it's just a matter of getting them, used to what it's like to be Division I basketball players. They're with their Coach Proto in the weight room and conditioning and getting in great shape. And, we really weren't the strongest team in the CAA. So we know that that's something that we have to work on, and it's a weakness. So it's giving us a little bit of an advantage to at least have them in here and have them working and really just to see their faces.
And Coach, with the pandemic, you talked about freshmen coming in and everything else you guys have had in regards to challenges. What about any additional challenges you've faced during this pandemic in regards to being a coach and your team right now during the off season?
Well, they just don't really know what to expect, and it's the not having the answers that's probably been the most frustrating thing for us as coaches and probably our players, that, they just want to know what's going on. So I guess we just got to the point where we take things one day at a time. When it comes at us, we deal with it. It's terrible that we can't go off campus to recruit. We can't have people come on campus, but at least we still have our nucleus together. And, if the kids need something, they've been great, because when you live in Charleston, it's really hard not to want to go to the beach and go to King Street and see all these beautiful spots. You come in as a freshman, you're like, okay, I can't wait. But, they're locked in the dorm room pretty much. But, they can still go out and do stuff. It's just as long as it's, with the 6 feet and, having their mask on and stuff like that. But, it's just what we are now.
Yes, indeed. And Coach, you kind of led into my next question a little bit. Speaking of Charleston, the city, such a fun city to be in and wanting to be out, and it's got to be tough during this pandemic. So kind of on the lighter side here, what have you been doing during this extended break, maybe outside of basketball? Any new shows that you've watched, or a new favorite book, or big time, anything like that?
I'm about the one that knows every show on Netflix. Everybody always tells me, man, you watch Netflix? I'm like, yeah, I watch them. You get into the series and, you go crazy just finding something, But, it's just, I go out in my kayak, I go fishing. I try to just, when the beaches were closed, that was terrible for a couple of weeks, but just try to go out and be outside. And, I'm lucky that I have a house and I can do house jobs. And, but you get to this point where you're like, I'll do it tomorrow, because you just get lazy, and think, well, what's the rush? When we used to be in season or, going that 20 hours, when you had a day off, your day off was full speed drill of getting errands done and things prepared for the next week. And, now it's like, do it later. But, we go into work and, we do individuals Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday until about 1 o'clock. So we at least are working half days. And then today, Wednesdays, they just do conditioning. But, it's just a matter of going out and doing stuff and staying busy. And, and our kids are still doing that, but they're not being able to go into restaurants and go into bars and, kind of that social life that college students will experience. So, they're just being strong.
And Coach, I'm sure, nobody really envisioned what is, happening around the world right now, but especially you envisioning your first, 12 months as the head coach at College of Charleston or your first year as the head coach. You guys had a strong, non-conference start and a strong start to conference season. And then, the season ends in the CAA tournament there in the first round. And then the pandemic hits. It just seems like a whirlwind as you're trying to build your program. What has this kind of been like for you, your first year at the College of Charleston?
Yeah, it was a full speed drill. And I'm thinking, man, you couldn't have stopped that tournament one day earlier, so we could have not had that loss. But, it was still good for our kids to get a chance to play, in the tournament, even if it was just a one game. But, it's just, I don't even know what to say. It's just been so crazy of, that first year we moved, we unpacked, we went full speed on, signed 5 freshmen and, got our team better, and, we finished 13-16. And, it was a matter of we made at least some statements, even though we know it's not acceptable. We have to get, you fight little goals of, okay, let's get 500. Okay, now let's have a winning season. And, that's down the road for us. So it's just a matter of recruiting, getting our kids better. And I was really looking forward to this summer to have a little bit of vacation, because when you leave a job and go into another job, it's really two years where you haven't stopped. And I brought most of my coaches with me, so they're in that same boat as I am. But, we're tough people. We can push through this and make the most of it.
Coach, how will your team look different this season than it did last season?
I think that we'll be even more athletic than we were. We'll be deeper. We'll have a deeper bench. Last year I didn't really have the luxury that if somebody didn't play well, I could take them out and put someone else in. We just kind of had to go with them. And we're still pretty young. We still started 4 sophomores and a freshman. And, some of the seniors that graduated, they gave us some minutes to help us out. But, we're still going to be that young team for a while. But the talent level, the athletic ability, it's already risen for us, that we noticed a big difference. This year, July 20th, when we had our first individual, I was like, okay, what a difference, what a difference that year makes to just see better athletes, and better basketball players. So, I know that we still have a ways to go, but it's going in the right direction.
Speaking of some of the youngsters on your team and the new athleticism and even the newcomers, as you said about the freshmen, which ones have kind of stood out so far in the preseason workouts that you've seen?
I'll tell you, all the freshmen really have helped us, because our kids that we have on our team now, they watched their videos, they saw, their individual highlights. And, everybody looks good in the highlights, but they saw what they could do. And, from day one, it just put the level up. And, I could say I could almost have 3 freshmen that could take starting jobs now. But, and it's different when the bright lights come on and we play full court, which we're not really allowed to scrimmage yet. But it's still that pressure of, okay, there's somebody else that can take my spot if I'm not in the mood to do it. But, we just pretty much went across the board. We got a nice post player from Dallas, Zoe, that is 6'2" and just a freak athlete. And she's improved in 3 weeks to us, where I can't even believe it's the same kid or why she wasn't recruited, more heavily, because we signed her late. And then we signed another player. We're getting a lot of kids out of Texas because that's where we came from. And, there's players that we couldn't get at our last school, but now we can get. And Annika is from San Antonio, and she's 6 foot and she can just stroke it. She can shoot the 3, which, we didn't really have that consistent shooter. And I can go down the list where, Chelsea's a point guard that is flashy and probably will give me a lot of gray hairs, but, she can go in there and be a difference maker. And it's a mirror, which was really like a 13th year kid, took a year off because she didn't really like her offers she was from North Carolina. Now she lives in Virginia, but she's a freak athlete. She jumped 50 inches, on a box. And, that's almost, she's 5'7", 5'8", and she can dunk a tennis ball. So, there's all kinds of different things that now we're going to be able to do and have more weapons. Erin Eady, which is our post player, which can rebound, everybody knows that she's a great rebounder. She actually worked on her game and has gotten better, and now she's getting smooth in the post where she's like putting on a clinic. So there's not really anything that I'm disappointed at of all of our new kids. I don't think we made any mistakes. It's just a matter of watching the rest of this team even get better.
Wrapping up today with the head coach of the College of Charleston, Robin Harmony. And coach, outside of COVID-19, the other kind of big news headline this offseason has been the social injustice movement. What have you and your student athletes have done for the social injustice movement in Black Lives Matter?
Well, I think with our kids that it's all about communicating and seeing how they're feeling and what they're going through. And it's just before they got to campus, we did a lot of Zoom calls. They just talked, they communicated, and as far as our college goes, they are setting up programs to educate, and that's what it's about.
Coach, let's talk about the league a little bit. The CA landscape, how is it changing for the upcoming year?
Well, hopefully everything is going to be normal and we can still play our regular conference schedule, home and aways, and get a chance to travel and see everybody, and we don't break up in two divisions, because we know that the James Madisons, the Elons, the Williamtons, those teams are great teams. And, I don't want to have to play those guys 4 times each or something like that. It would just be a nightmare. But I know that our conference is strong now, and it's getting stronger, and it's just by great coaches and them, all the coaches recruiting big time kids. And, it's not like anybody's going to ever have a bad or a down year. Everyone's improving, and you just have to make sure you keep up with them. And I know that we're in the bottom, and there's one way for us to go in the top and to get better. And but it's going to take time. But I know that I'm happy to be in the Colonial Conference and to play with these great teams, and they're coached very well and big time coaches. And not only they're just really good people. So it's a great conference to be in. And we're all hoping and praying for the same thing, that we get a chance to play each other.
All right, Coach Robin Harmony, thank you so much for joining us. Stay healthy out there, and also for your team, and look forward to seeing you in the Cougars.
Okay, guys, thank you. Appreciate it.